The Whispering Machines, a bone-chilling horror story. In the heart of an ancient, forgotten village lay a decrepit factory, its rusted gears and crumbling walls a silent testament to a bygone era. The villagers had long abandoned it, but whispers of its dark past lingered like a malevolent fog. It was said that the machines within had once been alive, their gears and pistons driven by something far more sinister than mere steam power. These were the Whispering Machines, and their tales of terror were etched into the very fabric of the village's collective memory. One stormy night, a group of curious souls, driven by the thrill of the unknown, ventured into the factory. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and the flickering lightning outside cast eerie shadows on the walls. As they stepped deeper into the labyrinth of rusted corridors, a low, almost imperceptible hum began to fill the air. It was a sound that seemed to resonate from the very bones of the earth, a prelude to the horrors that awaited them. The first machine they encountered was a towering contraption, its metal frame twisted and gnarled like the limbs of a grotesque tree. It stood motionless, yet the group could feel its malevolent presence. As they approached, the machine's gears began to turn, grinding out a cacophony of whispers. The voices were indistinct, yet they seemed to speak directly to the deepest, darkest fears of each person present. One by one, the whispers began to take shape, manifesting as visions of their worst nightmares. A young woman saw her reflection in a shattered mirror, her face twisted into a grotesque parody of herself. A man heard the laughter of a child he had lost long ago, only to see the apparition of that child dragged into the shadows by unseen hands. Panic set in as the group realized they were not alone. The machines were alive, feeding on their fear and amplifying it tenfold. They tried to flee, but the corridors seemed to shift and twist, leading them deeper into the factory's bowels. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, until they became a deafening roar. It was as if the machines were trying to drown out their sanity, to consume their very souls. In a desperate bid to escape, they stumbled upon a massive chamber, its walls lined with countless gears and pistons. At the center stood a colossal machine, its form resembling a grotesque amalgamation of human and mechanical parts. It was the heart of the Whispering Machines, the source of their unholy power. As they gazed upon it, the machine's eyes, glowing with an unnatural light, locked onto them. The whispers ceased, replaced by a single, chilling voice that echoed through their minds. "Welcome," it hissed, "to the place where fear becomes reality." The group's screams were drowned out by the machine's laughter, a sound that seemed to reverberate through time and space. One by one, they were consumed by the darkness, their bodies twisted and contorted until they became indistinguishable from the machines themselves. The factory, once a relic of the past, now stood as a monument to their eternal torment. Years later, a new generation of villagers would hear the whispers carried on the wind, a haunting reminder of the horrors that lurked within the factory. Some claimed to see ghostly figures wandering the ruins, their voices mingling with the hum of the Whispering Machines. The legend of the factory grew, a cautionary tale of the dangers that lay hidden in the shadows of the past. But for those who dared to venture too close, the whispers would always find them, a chilling testament to the enduring power of fear. Horror story for children, The Magic Doors. In a quaint little village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there was an old, abandoned house. It had been empty for as long as anyone could remember, its windows shattered and its walls covered in ivy. The villagers often whispered about the strange noises that echoed from within, but no one dared to go near it, except for a curious young boy named Timmy. Timmy was a brave and adventurous child with a vivid imagination. He had heard the tales of the old house and was determined to uncover its secrets. One sunny afternoon, he gathered his courage and ventured into the eerie building. The air inside was thick with dust, and the floorboards creaked under his feet. As he explored the dimly lit rooms, he noticed something peculiar, a series of ornate doors, each one different from the others. They were made of dark wood, adorned with strange symbols and carvings that seemed to shimmer in the faint light. Intrigued, Timmy approached the first door. It was slightly ajar, and he could hear faint whispers coming from behind it. He hesitated for a moment, then pushed it open. The room beyond was filled with a soft, eerie glow. In the center stood an old, dusty mirror. As Timmy looked into it, He saw not his own reflection, but the face of a young girl with hollow eyes. She reached out to him, her fingers trembling. "Help me," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Timmy felt a chill run down his spine, but he knew he had to help her. He reached out and touched the mirror, and suddenly, he was pulled through into a dark, misty world. The girl appeared beside him, her eyes filled with fear. "They took me here," she explained, "the ones who live behind the doors. They want to keep me forever." Timmy realized that the old house was a prison for lost souls, and the magic doors were the gateways to their torment. Determined to save the girl, he took her hand and led her back to the mirror. With a final, desperate push, they both tumbled back into the old house. The girl vanished, but Timmy could hear her voice echoing in his mind. "Thank you. You are truly brave." He turned to face the next door, knowing he couldn't leave without trying to save more souls. One by one, he opened the doors and encountered different spirits. Some were kind, while others were filled with anger and despair. Each time, Timmy used his courage and kindness to help them find peace and return to the world beyond the magic doors. As the sun began to set, Timmy realized he had to leave before it was too late. He had saved many souls, but he knew there were still more trapped within the old house. With a heavy heart, he made his way back to the front door and stepped out into the fresh air. The villagers, who had been watching from a distance, were amazed to see him emerge unscathed. They asked him what he found inside, but Timmy just smiled and said, "I met some friends." From that day on, the old house seemed less menacing. The strange noises stopped, and the villagers no longer whispered about it in fear. Timmy knew that the magic doors had released their hold on the lost souls, but he also knew that the house would always be a place of mystery and wonder. And whenever he passed by, he couldn't help but wonder if there were still more souls waiting to be saved, hidden behind the magic doors.